Hey guys.
Hi, I'm Lior. I'm one of the animators here at MakeHaven, and I'm with
Gina.
And Gina joined MakeHaven recently. Gina, could you tell us about your experience in woodworking prior to coming to MakeHaven?
I didn't have any.
Really? Tell me more. What's your background?
I work in the ER. I like making stuff, or I guess I was always curious about how things were made. I had a clothing company when I was younger. I liked to sew and do things like that, but I didn't think of myself as like a precise mechanical person. And so, the people I knew who did woodworking, their dad had like a shop in the garage or something like that. Were all about tools. They were always talking about all these vices and drills and bits and screws and nails that I just, basically zoned out when I heard that. And yeah.
So what brought you to MakeHaven?
Well, I wanted to make a camera.
Okay, tell us more. What does that mean?
So my husband is really into photography, and he always talked about liking large format photography. And I saw them online or in little fancy shops in Brooklyn, and they're really expensive. And I felt like I didn't really know of all the different varieties, and they're all very custom, handmade pieces. I didn't know what he would want, and I thought that I would have a better approximation of making something he could test out and experiment with if I made it myself. And at the end of the day, they were made over 100 years ago, pretty simply. So unlike, I didn't have to make a chip or something. It seemed to me like something that could be done by hand.
Cool. So what was your experience going from not having much of a background in woodworking to making a large format camera with your hands, which maybe is simple relative to a digital camera, but perhaps not as simple as most people's first woodworking projects?
Yeah, I think I came into MakeHaven. I met Kate and you on the first day I was here to check out the space, and I just showed you guys my project. And we looked through it. We looked at, on a high level what the basic steps were. And you guys didn't quiz me or challenge me or tell me that I needed X, Y, and Z skills or prerequisites. The biggest thing I think that you wanted to know was if I really wanted to do it. And I did really want to do it. And after that, it was a really clear series of steps, one piece at a time. First, watching the videos to learn how some of these different saws and tools work. Then coming into the shop and actually, practicing doing that with you. And then just one step at a time, breaking the product down into its constituent parts. And honestly, once it was broken down into its parts, I don't think it was more complicated than even some of the simpler workshops that we have here. It was just a matter of breaking it down to those parts and sticking with it to do them all.
Were there any tools in particular that you either were excited or scared of, or you enjoyed learning?
Well, I always remember the first day when we learned how to use this tool. I guess actually it was really cool doing this on the first day, and then the last day when I pulled an all-nighter to finish it. This was so hard for me to release the valve and use that first day. It took me half an hour, and you didn't let me give up. You just keep trying. And then on the last day, it was easy. It's better.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was cool. I like that really cool vice mallet thing too. Where is it? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yes, this.
Oh. So Gina's talking about the hold fasts or hold downs that go into the woodworking benches to hold work pieces down, and they're neat because they're a really old technology. It's just a piece of bent metal, but just because of the friction in the table, they hold themselves in there with a whack knob on top, and then to release it, you just whack them on the back and they come up.
The reason I think I really like this, or it's like reminds me of what MakeHaven was about, is that I said at the beginning of the video, I liked like artsy projects. I liked things that didn't require any measuring or precision or tools, or I thought that was the kind of maker I was. And this was just not going to be fun. It wasn't my thing. And like how some people just say, oh, like I can't do math. Yeah, I think when you break it down into a project and you get to really see the rewards of measuring things carefully and feeling the grain of wood on your hands and seeing that actually there are really phenomenal tools that make a job that otherwise would be impossible possible, that have an artistic grace to them, just like not mathematical things. I actually felt like woodworking is very up my alley.
Were there any other projects that you got to see here at MakeHaven by members that were inspirational?
Yes. The first day that I came here to work on, after you had badged me in the saws, I made a practice frame. And at the time, Chris was working here. He's a member who is really active and frames beautiful artwork for other people in the community. And I remember seeing my first frame and seeing his frames, which were so beautiful. And in a way, it was obviously like, I have a long way to go, and like it made me feel sad. But more than that, his support, how excited he was about my first frame, and saying that I was there once too, and getting to see how beautiful a handmade wooden object can be was incredibly inspiring. So I will always remember that first day and that first frame with Chris. Out there, not in the wood shop, it was really cool to meet Manuela and see about like the jewelry that she was making. The other really cool thing about her was she's a student, and she has these really big dreams about making all these innovative art installations, and she has just very ambitious statements she wants to make to society. And every week, I feel like when I come back and see her, there's a different tool, a different part of MakeHaven that's lighting up her thinking about this and leading her to evolve as an artist. So she was a really inspiring role model to just say, like, MakeHaven has infinity resources, and you could, the sky's the limit with what you can learn and acquire and be better at. I haven't really gotten to know the ladies who make the hats and the recycled tire purses, but they seem dope. And the guy who was making cans for his t-shirts,
Yep.
super cool. And they could go on forever. But
Cool. So what was your experience like spending time here at MakeHaven?
yeah, so that was really surprising, actually. I was prepared for a lot of like, really confident and not meaning like ill, but sort of like, I know what I'm doing, and I'm busy with my like 10 tools and like 20 years of professional experience and gruffness, and like, who are you and why do you not know how all the woodworking protocols? But it was not my experience at all. Everybody here wanted to share their passion and their love, and people were super gracious about sharing the space and teaching me kind of like what the etiquette was to use the tools and make the space better for people when the next person wanted to use it. The other wood animator who's making the resin table, Jen, was like here many of the late nights that I was here, and not only like spotted me, but also didn't mind when I sort of did things wrong. I remember late nights when we had potlucks on the side and got to know other people with their projects, which was just really inspiring and cool. Some of whom we're like spending New Year's with later. And then when I couldn't figure out how to make the precise cuts for the outline of the frame of camera, somebody taught us how to use the laser cutter, which was really cool, and basically saved light leaks in the lens. So yeah, I think that it was the part that I was the most kind of not looking forward to about this project, was thinking that I was going to be kind of looked down on, and it was turned out to be the best part of joining MakeHaven, was the people.
Cool.
Yeah.
My two last questions. One, any advice to someone else who's looking to get started on their first woodworking project? And two, any future projects coming up for you?
Okay. My advice would be to pick something you really want to do, and don't be automatically intimidated or automatically think that you can't do it. The most important thing is that you really want to do it and you're motivated, because there are going to be hurdles with a simple project, and there are going to be hurdles with a project that's going to take many steps. And the more important thing is that you're willing to care about it and stick with it through the hard stuff.
What's on the
next
docket?
thing I want to make, I think I told you I wanted to make a little jewelry box that doesn't have any screws or nails, that the wood seams just fit together by themselves. And then I wanted to make the Adirondack chair for 2 people.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm excited to see you back at work at MakeHaven.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for taking the time to talk.
Thanks for teaching me, guys.